Okay, so the fall 2021 anime season is about to come to an end. I made a video before this season about my anticipation for the fall 2021 anime. Well, there are shows on my list that weren't as good as I expected, while I've picked up shows that weren't on my list which became some of my favorites of this season. Now let's get right into it. Mushoku Tensei, or Jobless Reincarnation Part 2. This show has once again lived up to our standards and even exceeded our expectations. The amazing character development from Part 1 was carried on to this season. There is some subtle yet detailed introscope into each character's inner state of mind, allowing us to dig into their inner conflicts, insecurities, and even hypocrisies. The world building from this season has also marveled as we follow the character's adventure. It is again very well animated. I appreciate how there's a new opening for every arc instead of recycling the same scenes throughout the show. While it's not necessary, it really puts viewers in a mood as each opening accompanies the arc or the location they arrived very well. It really demonstrates the effort of the staff and their dedication to this anime. Apparently, they're gonna adapt the whole novel and I'm really looking forward to it. I read it then. Out of 10. 86. Another continuation that amazes us. This show is just very good at manipulating our emotions. One second it got us all hyped up, and the other it brought us all down. The new characters introduced are pretty interesting with complicated backgrounds and motives. I also really crave this world building. Not only is it detailed, but it also shows us what humanity means. Like its hypocrisy when it comes to dealing with the 86s. A lot of issues pretty relatable and applicable to real life. This whole anime is just so beautifully done. I'll of course give it an 86 out of 10. Kimetsu no Yaiba, or Demon Slayer Mugen Train. Since the show is basically the movie with some extra scenes chopped up into a few episodes, I'm just gonna talk about the first episode. Well, it fucking blew my mind. The whole parallel between Rengoku and his father is poetically beautiful. I also appreciate the little extra context of Mugen Train. It nicely fits into the story. The fight scenes are of course smoothly and flamboyantly animated. Just Ufotable doing what they're good at. This would be a great place to start if you've never watched the Mugen Train movie. If you've watched it, it doesn't hurt to revisit it. This show I'll give a out of 10. World's finest assassin got reincarnated, blah 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 blah. Another isekai apparently. But this time, instead of a young and useless man being isekai'd, we have an old and experienced assassin who's being transferred into another world. This is a very unique element of this show and I believe is what got a lot of people, including me, into this anime. Something similar to other shows is how the protagonist is also seeking to live a new life in a new world. But what's different here is what he seeks from his new life. Usually we see MCs looking to be a more productive or a better person, but our MC here is trying to gain some emotions. Something he never got to experience in his past assassin life. It is interesting to see his emotionlessness in his old self with his new emotions in his new life interacting to help him achieve different goals and make different decisions professionally and personally. The settings are really just all the same. We have the obligatory magic, the obligatory harem, and the obligatory out-of-the-world mana. There's even some inspirations from Mushoku Tensei I saw here. Something relatively unique about the world is, they can make tons. However, I think the most unique thing here is still the MC and how he chooses to live his life. This show I'll give a out of 10. Takt Opus Destiny. I actually had a whole script written to trash on this show, but after watching episode 8, I changed my mind. Well, before episode 8, this show is really mid to me. It definitely felt so overhyped as I was so underwhelmed. It's been heavily marketed as this grand, musical and action-focused anime. But in the first half of the series, it's really just some small fights, which is still admittedly well animated, with classical music being played in the background. And then they call it music by naming our fellow human Pokemons or servants, whatever you call it, music arts after famous classical pieces. I definitely like the thought process behind the naming of each music art and how the pieces connect to their personalities and backstories thematically. But up till episode 8, the whole music thing is just really shallow. If you take it away, it may not even affect the whole viewing experience. It may even make it a better show to an extent. It's at a point where it feels kinda cringe, as the theme of music seems to be forcefully inserted into the anime, so they might as well just remove it, you know? However, when episode 8 hits, it feels like it all came together. Instead of all the everyday slice of life bantering, we dig deeper into each of the 3 main characters, cause not gonna lie, the trio kinda annoys me sometimes. Episode 10 is another very good episode. We're starting to connect the points and the whole music thing makes sense. It contributes to very nice character development instead of just being an extra, even a necessary element in the show. Thematically and emotionally wise, the pieces used in this episode also accompanied the scenes really fittingly, instead of just being a plain background track over flashy scenes. One thing I have to say though is that despite all that good stuff I've been talking about, the antagonists of this show are just so fucking lame. Their lameness is just very distracting and often took me out of the place. Animation and visuals wise, first of all, it's Mappa and Madhouse, and second of all, I mean, you can't really go wrong with exploiting and underpaying your workers, am I right? Anyway, thanks to the later part of the show, it elevates from a very mid C-tier anime to an A-tier to me. If you didn't watch this anime this season and are considering watching it, I'd say have some patience for this first half of the show, cause you'll get to the good stuff later. Overall, I rate it an 4 times out of 10. Faraway Paladin, or the Faraway Paladin. Another isekai show apparently. You know, these settings of these shows really tire me out sometimes, but let's ignore it because it's not the real juice. The real juice here is the characters. We got some really nice coming of age story here. It gives us insights into the protagonist's mind and see how he wishes to transform as a person after getting isekai'd. There's definitely some inspirations from Mushoku Tensei here, and even the author himself admits that he's a Mushoku Tensei fan and defends any critics against it. The interactions of the protagonist with his pseudo-parents also give me vibes of To Your Eternity. These profound character developments are enhanced by the spectacular performance of our fellow PAs. However, this show is indeed a bit lacking on animations, an issue made apparent with this abundance of fight scenes. It really feels staggered sometimes, yet it's still a very good show and I'll give it a out of 10. Komi-san wa Kamyusho desu, or Komi can't communicate. If I have to pick a favorite out of this season, this would be it. Even though I didn't put it on my list in the very beginning, this, in fact, is the anime I most look forward to every week. It has the right amount of wholesomeness and comedy that provides me a getaway from my everyday stress and hassle. While maintaining a comedy, it also sheds light on an important mental health issue which may be ignored or even ridiculed by some other works or people in real life. There's also the right dose of sweetness in its romance. Visually, it's also very appealing. Some episodes even feel so cinematic. Whether you've come for wholesomeness, romance, or comedy, this is the ultimate show for you. If you, for whatever reason, skipped this anime, go check it out. At least for the puns, cause they're fucking genius. This show I'll give an out of 10. Thank you guys so much for watching. What are your favorites of all? Leave a comment. If you've enjoyed the video, leave a like, subscribe, ring the bell so you get notified, and I'll see you guys next time.